What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner.tv, folks. I got a good one today. I got 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃. So we're headed into this, looks like this new reset system. A lot of things, explosive weeks coming ahead. I've heard from Juan. I've heard from, Andy Badalado's in Steve Bannon's camp. I've heard from a few other people that the coming weeks will be explosive, no doubt about it. Could Powell step down? That would cause a lot of disruption in the markets. Could RussiaGate explode? There's so much going on. Silver skyrocket. Folks, stay with us. 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃 is going to give his prediction or his prophetic intuition, his time analysis, let's just say. Professional time analysis on what is going on. But first, folks, get your Noble Gold. Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher, baby. Oh, yeah. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold and silver. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. Oh, yeah. The NobleGoldInvestments.com. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Freedom and peace of mind delivered 1 ounce at a time. Yeah. How do you like that? Am I getting better at these things? Oh, boy. I try to make them fun. I try. All right, folks. And I don't care if I make an ass out of myself. I really don't. At this point in my life, it's like I don't give a shit anymore. I just don't care. I don't care anymore. Yeah. All right, so Ringside with Nino was awesome. It was fire. Had a lot of fun. There was a lot of people in there. We had a great time. The next Ringside with Nino is the 31st. The 31st, I think that's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday the 31st. July 31st, there's going to be a lot to talk about. And I got two generals in the generals tent. I got Colonel Towner Watkins, July 24th for the generals tent. And 𝗬𝗏 the 30th, Wednesday the 30th. So that's two generals in the generals tent this month. We're going to need it. Believe me, you're going to have a lot of questions for the stuff that's going to be popping off. Also, folks, When the Lights Go Out. When the Lights Go Out, get that on Amazon. It's a book I wrote myself. Yeah, I can read and I can write, sometimes. Also, I got The Mexican Mix, my mama's book. Great book. It's a Rodriguez memoir about slumming with a Mexican. So, my mom, she liked that Latin blood, I guess. All right, folks. So I did a podcast with Benjamin Fulford. It was amazing. It's crazy. It's batshit crazy. But what if he's right? He's saying, and this is going up on Nino's Corner.tv pretty soon, probably tomorrow. I already did he's very convincing. I'm going to tell you this right now. Oh, boy, he's so convincing. It's like, you guys got to watch it. It's so insane. Could Trump have been replaced? I'm mumbling to myself when I got done with the podcast because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But who is this 5'11" Trump walking around? I don't know. I just don't know. And he's saying he was replaced at the G7 summit, and that's why he's flip-flopping and all these things, and the Black Cats made this move, and he's in Greenland right now, and there's just a lot of stuff. And you know what? I know most of the stuff he says is true that he was saying on this podcast. Why would this be not true? I don't know. I'll let you all figure it out. You guys, you dissect it. I leave it to you, folks. I put it out there for you to figure out on your own because you're all adults, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃, come on. Get on. There you are.
Hello.
How do you like that? Am I getting more entertaining or what?
You crack me up, and your fans love you. You've got the person, you got the personality, so it's definitely working. So congratulations on everything. Congratulations on God, that God's chosen you to do the things you're doing, and you basically you bring everybody on. But one thing I know is you gear everything towards you put it all out there, but your heart I know is to follow Christ. So
100%, 100%, and some really. My pastor came over the other day. I had a nice Bible study with him. He's such a sweet guy. Mike Woods in El Paso, Texas. A shout out to Mike Woods. Comes over to my house, man, and speaks to me. And we read John. And it's just so, man, it soothes my heart, dude. Nothing else does that. Just the Bible. Just hearing Jesus' words. It's so
you know what it's called? I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's called joy unspeakable. That's like the people that that don't know Christ. They don't they'll be happy here and there, but a lot of anger in them, and but when you find Christ, what it is, it's that word. It's joy unspeakable. Why am I always happy? Because it's joy unspeakable. I have Christ in me, and through the Holy Spirit, and there's nothing to fear. Every knee, Scripture says very clearly, every knee shall bow to the name of Christ. So everybody, he's got authority over everything and everybody. So that's why there's nothing to fear. And that's what it is. It's joy in the Lord. So great days are here, and no matter what's going on in the world, when you hear about all these news events and everything going on, ultimately, like I always say, it doesn't matter to a degree, because it really is all noise. Because what really matters is what God is saying through his prophets and what God has written in the Scriptures. That's all that matters, because that's what's going to play out. People can have their opinions about all these different things. For example, you brought up the black hats, whatever. Just let you know what the Lord said about the black hats and the white hats. You know what he said? He goes, "There's black hats in the white hats, and there's white hats in the black hats."
So they're gray.
Well, think about it, right? Because they get in on each other's plan, and they're trying to, there's got spies and all this stuff. So you don't know who's who. That's the whole point of all this stuff. So that's why
I'm gonna just
rather than you just focus on what God is saying through the prophets, what the numerics are saying, and that's what truly matters, because that's how it's going to play out.
All right, and just I'm gonna set my timer, folks, because I do have a mid-roll today. Love that one. So I'm setting my timer. When the timer goes off, I'll read my mid-roll, and then you all got to get from wherever you're at, which is Facebook or X, and come to the YouTube channel, and we'll take super chat only from the YouTube channel, obviously. Super chat and your questions. So make them count. Make them count. All right, Bo. So, okay, let me tell you what I'm hearing, and I'm just going to be blunt. That one story is going to be breaking after another this week, that I need to be on top of everything and be ready to be at my desk all the time, because after one story breaks, another one's going to break. That's how this week is going to go. So they told me, Federal Reserve Chairman could step down, market volatility. Did I say that right?
Yeah, volatility.
Mm-hmm. Volatility. Yep. Hey, yo, market volatility, and then also RussiaGate, Brennan, the whole thing. I've heard the grand jury's already been picked. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, and I can't say it all, but that's just what I'm getting. Does that add up to with what you're getting?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we started. So if you want to pop up the screen that I've got there on the share screen, this is important, because this date. So this is in my book. I think it's 1:30 or something like that. But the point is, this is the calculation. So this is when everything starts. So we have the 4th of July. And that was where the flooding, and then specifically was Trump signed the big, beautiful bill on the 4th. But then there was an 8-day lag, which took us to specifically this past Friday. So that would have been yesterday. That would have been the 11th. And this is now a critical time point, because what we saw happen yesterday, this is really, really biblical, because if you understand silver, this is all about silver. So everybody listening, Nino just spoke specifically. He was talking about precious metals, silver, had gold, owning silver. Understand why? Because Trump spoke about a golden age. Okay. So the math calculations are crystal clear that from the Declaration of Independence, because we're going to reference that again in just a second, but from the Declaration of Independence, to the 248th year, the completion of it, it was July 3rd. Okay, so we've gone through this before. It's a 248 year, ended on the July 3rd with the flooding. Now, there was actually, last time we spoke, and you were talking about the flooding. Remember, so John 10:10 says very clearly, the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So the flooding was kill. They're going to try to probably steal land and then destroy. So that was of the devil. And so these weather things that we're seeing happening, this is all the demonic, because that's all they got. Okay. They know God's about to, they know this is the 50th year. So they know God's about to strike. So what their defense is, they're coming in with everything, and it's specifically weather related stuff. And why? Because actually Carol and Dennis this morning got a prophecy, and it's specifically because who's the prince of the air? Satan. Prince of the air, get it, right? So he's controlling the air, specifically weather. And so we've hit at marker time. 8 days from the 3rd was yesterday, the 11th. What was said? It's supposed to mark a critical time point where basically this day, yesterday, marks it's a marker. So when we start looking next week, everything's supposed to start to like manifest. Okay, so we haven't seen like
everything starts to manifest. That's what I mean.
Yeah, we should start to see. We should start to see things. Like in other words, like the calculations have now hit. Okay, so boom, the calculations are here, which means that something's should start to manifest that we can physically actually see. And so why I say that in addition to is because if we look at silver specifically, what happened with silver? Something very interesting. This is my chart on silver from June 18th. Now, this is the final resistance line. It's $36.50. What I said was when it closes above, this is the final resistance. It was $36.50. This is on a close. It closed yesterday $38.25. So in other words, it closed in $38 plus and change. Okay, so it's above the weekly resistance. In other words, it's now broken out with conviction. And so the reason silver is so important, because silver marks, everybody, please, if you're going to write one thing down from this podcast, write this down. Silver, the breakout of silver through $50 will mark the start of the collapse and loss of control of the Babylonian system. So we should, in theory, we could actually see that this week, maybe, I'm guessing Tuesday, Wednesday.
I had 𝗬𝗚𝗏 on today. He said the same thing.
So silver is the marker, because this is what God actually said about silver. So Judas, the trader, sold Christ for 30 shekels of silver, and from the money changers. So the money changers, this is all about, buying Jesus, for the wage of a slave, 30 shekels. So now God is going to use silver to destroy the money changers. Talk about flipping of the financial scales. I love it. This is literally flipping of the scales. So this is a flipping of the scales moment. So God's going to, and the marker is, because if you see these spikes, so this spike on the left right here to 40, that was $49 and change. That was in 1980. Okay. Then the second one right here is 2011. That's the one that I called actually to the exact day back in 2011. I use biblical math, 1260, the calculations I used. But the point I'm trying to make, this is how kind of got me started in understanding, what I do. But this marked 2011, again, $49 and change. Why this is important? Because when you read Leviticus, thou shalt consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land and to all of its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. Why I state that is because that's Leviticus. Guess what scripture? 25. What? Are you kidding me? Leviticus 25 in the year 2025, like, what are the coincidences? Because there aren't any, right? Leviticus 25, and actually its verse, you know what verse it is? 9 through 10. 9th month is September. Everybody, please.
Oh, okay.
Month is September. 10th is October. So what I just stated is Leviticus 25, year 25, verse 9 through 10, September and October, they fall in fall. We're going to play a September video, a fall video in a few minutes. And this is prophecy. So the numerics on this is just mind-blowing, but it all starts with silver blowing through $50. And what's a jubilee? And specifically, furthermore, to a jubilee, I want to reference this right here. It's Isaiah 61, and it talks about the year of jubilee. So, you know, when you say market volatility, I'm still waiting for 3 to 4 days of darkness in the markets. Like, I think the markets could freeze up literally next week. We could see the markets freeze up next. I thought it could have happened on the 4th of July. It didn't. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But let me tell you, when we transitioned, when the transition is from when this Babylonian financial system begins to, you know, gets shake and starts to like rattle and shake, okay, the only thing, and that's going to be tied in with truths coming out, because there's some reason it's going to be tied in with the great, it's called, God call it the great reveal. So the great reveal means, you know, truths being revealed. So the truths being revealed is going to tie in with silver blowing through $50. And
okay, so that's the marker.
The marker is $50 silver. Boom, straight through it.
And you think that could happen this week?
It could happen this week, because now, see what happens, the chart I just showed you, when it takes out 36.50, say $37, 50 becomes like a magnet. On charting, now that there's no overhead resistance, it actually the price can get sucked straight up. So it's literally just blow straight vertical. So we could actually see it this week, next week. But the prophecy is, we'll play in this a second, if you want to cue up the summer prophecy. But that prophecy talks about, I will prosper my people. And so this is about summer. I believe it's actually about July. So we're supposed to see the silver, we're prospering my people means God's going to bless his church. I mean, that's the explosion of precious metals. And this is going to tie in with, you know, what you've sometimes referenced XRP and the cryptocurrencies as well too. But the marker is silver blowing through 50, means the Babylonian system of financial control. This is key. They use they suppress and manipulate the price of everything. Why? To control and enslave humanity. So silver blowing through $50 starts to collapse the banks. Okay, this is going to be devastating to the bankers.
But what could ignite all this is Powell stepping down.
See, now we're talking like events, and I can't argue with you because I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised also that this could be tied in with some kind of military conflict. But before I just want to finish with this slide. It says, so Isaiah 61, it talks about the year of the Lord's favor. Okay, so the year of the Lord's favor, everybody, if you want to know, it started on the 4th of July. Okay. So the year of the Lord's favor started on the 4th of July, and it goes in entire. And it goes, yes, it will flood because the devil did that, but that was God knew the devil would do that, and that's marking the water breaking. And now the big beautiful bill, it's at 12 months all the way to next 4th of July. Remember, it's a year of rest. So it's 12 months of rest. This is the Jubilee. But what happens in these 12 months, this is the wild part, it's the day of vengeance. This is the day that I believe is going to be in the fall feast, potentially September, October. And that's the day, a 24-hour window, which is going to be 9/11 on steroids worldwide. And the prophecy is no one is going to miss it. It's going to be so dramatic and so worldwide, nobody is going to miss it. And it's going to shake people to their core if they don't know it's coming.
Well, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. And with that being said, folks, you knew this was coming, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, folks, start leaving Facebook and X. Meet us over at YouTube right now. And while you do that, I'm going to read a quick little commercial. I hear a dog barking, but that's okay. A recent study found nearly half of patients following popular weight loss trends. If you're wondering how I lost weight, here it is. Following popular weight loss trends, quit within a year, often used lower than prescribed doses, and ultimately lost less weight than they were led to believe. This is why I use this secret, amazing new product, and I'm obsessed with the result. It is designed to naturally support my body's own GLP-1 production and boost levels by over 50% without drugs, folks. Prescriptions, needles, it promotes safety. It promotes safety and feelings of fullness, reduces cravings, reduces my hunger hormones, helps me lose fat instead of muscle, and supports healthy blood sugar levels. Summer is here. That's why I've lost weight. And it's time to get that beach body ready. I'm getting it ready. I'm telling you that right now. Grab yourself a bottle of GLP-1 now to save up to 44% only at Trim with Nino, baby. Trimwithnino.com. Plus, you also get 2 free ebooks titled The 3-Week Diet and 53 fat-burning smoothies and milkshakes, which I'm also doing. Like I said, folks, everything I read here, everything I peddle to you, I do it myself. So you can tell I've lost weight, and I hope I don't lose too much weight. But this stuff works. And I've only been on it for like a few days. It's crazy. Can you tell I lost weight?
You look good, Nino. You always look good. Actually, I got to tell you, I'm very, it's actually for the amount of podcasts and everything you're doing all the time, you were still taking great care of yourself. So,
I still go to the gym every day. I hit the weights today. I put up a 325 today. That's pretty good. 8 times. I'm still in there, man. I'm not as strong. I could be if I keep working on it, but I'm just trying to maintain now. All right, let's go. So take it from here, Bo. Sorry about this.
Well, actually, let's pop on the summer video, and then we're going to speak about an important date, which is tomorrow, July 13th. Okay, so play the video, and then we're going to talk about the importance of tomorrow. Now, I don't know much. Will something definitely trigger tomorrow? But tomorrow is actually a very important day because just from last year, tomorrow is the 13th of July, and this is the day that they shot Trump through the ear. That's it'll be 1 year tomorrow, the 13th. Go and play a video.
I will reveal, for you have entered into a time and a season of undercover, where I will bring out from the covers the truth. For there have been too many lies, one lie after the other, covered in high national positions. There are 2 E's that I see. One E is the word erupt. The other is earthquake. A volcano as a sign. And then there will be another earthquake, says the Lord. Keep your eyes open, for this sign is to cause the earth to yield of its produce, that the great E may come forth rapidly. Summer reaches to spring and to fall. I will be the mediator, says summer. My sun will shine. Yet beneath the earth, there is a rage. Eruptions. Summer says, why choose they me? Why do the tornadoes, the hurricanes choose me? I am summer. I bring smiles. I bring sunshine. I bring warmth.
This year will be a cleansing year, and summer, oh summer, as my beloved prophet Kim said, this is that summer. Wait and see.
I am summer. I bring smiles. I bring sunshine. I bring warmth. Yet there is a tumultuous rendering that is coming. I stand to protect spring, but fall, you are rebelling. Or is it that possibly the Spirit of God will cause many to fall in fall? And I will start from the top. I have shaken the Democrats and will shake the Republicans even more. But remember, when these tremors and when these tumultuous moments happen, summer says, I will take it so that the fall can do its work in America. Summer, take it. For thus says the Lord, I will prosper my people. I will prosper my people. And during the fall there shall be many that shall fall, and many that shall rise from the dust. For the summer shall bring forth much in the temperatures.
So this summer shall be the hottest by far. The heat will bring the natural storms, and my heat will bring the cleansing.
Strange July, strange July.
From creation to the birth of Jesus to the Declaration of Independence was divine calculations to the exact year. From the Declaration of Independence, 248 years takes you to the year 2024, July. This right now is the year 248, which means that the year 248 ends when? Right there, it's in yellow, the July 3rd, 2025.
You kept saying July 3rd, July 3rd, July 3rd. I'm like, that's the day of the dismantling tour. And Robin Bullock kept saying, this is the closing of the book. This is the turning of the page. We are moving on from what has been. We're moving on from a season of war. And he said, like, this date is important. This date is important. This date is important. So July 4th, 2025, he says, marks the first day of the new chapter that we are heading into.
So we're stepping into a time of my glory shall fill the earth. Numbers 14:21. The glory brings miracles.
Hypnotic November. And oh, Christmas, where winter shall say, and me, I will make them happy. For God says, I have chosen each season to manifest something. My will shall be done, and it shall come to pass.
This nation shall be cleansed like my land after a good rain. I am cleansing the USA and all of my world. My storm is coming through man, through arrest, indictments, drug bust of cartels, and tribunals and executions. It is all coming to a theater near you, right on your very own TV.
Go ahead. I can't hear you, Nino. Nino? Can you hear me? So anyways, what we're missing
Now you can hear me, right? I was on mute. Alex, did you take us off Facebook yet? I can't hear Alex now. So
there we go. So,
right. Everybody hit the mute button.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, they made some updates back here, and so things are a little quirky.
Okay, it's all right. We're good now. So I can tell the numbers are right. They dropped, so I know that we're back.
That's
on
what's going on. So all good.
All right, cool. All right, so Bo, go ahead.
Yeah, so in other words, when you listen to that, it's earthquakes and eruptions. Have we seen them? No. Okay. This is that summer of summer will be the mediator. This is the summer that was prophesied, but we have not seen what? Earthquakes and eruptions. We haven't even seen exposures yet. Okay. So all of it's supposed to start in summer. Now, the interesting part is since we haven't seen it yet, but again, the calculations are now as of the 11th, it's game on. Okay. And we just saw on Friday, the 11th of July, silver closing at 38.25, whatever. It's above $37. So now silver's ready to absolutely just explode, and it could do it as early as say Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, if not next week. But if something's about to blow, silver again is the marker. The prophecy is earthquakes and eruptions. Haven't seen them yet. Okay,
this has to go with the exposure, like at the same time.
I don't know how it's going to play out, but this is summer brings earthquakes and eruptions. Okay, that was a prophecy. So we haven't seen earthquakes and eruptions yet, but this ties in with summer. So summer, we're as of the 16th. Okay, so this July 16th is halfway through summer.
Well, the way I see it, if they're capable of flooding, they're capable of earthquakes and volcano eruptions for sure.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that they can do erupt. I don't think they can do.
Is it them or is it God?
I think that I believe that the volcanic eruption might be God. I don't know, because I don't know that they can. I think I know they can probably shake the ground.
I bet you they can
but blown off a volcano again. I don't know
if it's ready to erupt or not. If it's right at that precipice. Well, if it's ready and it's right at that precipice, all they got to do is zap the plates with something and boom, there you go. I would imagine.
Again, it's all just speculation on my part. I have no idea. I mean, you could be right. I don't know. But we haven't seen earthquakes and eruptions yet. We haven't seen a great reveal. We haven't seen things revealing. We haven't, there's a big craziness going on right now with Bondi and Kash Patel and all that stuff that we're watching all the drama unfold right now. But actually, Carolyn actually got a prophecy specifically about that event. And specifically, if the news came out right now, in reference to the entire Epstein stuff, they would squash it. So this is not the time to release it. That's actually what God actually said yesterday to Carolyn. So it's going to all come out. But this is the Epstein thing is a worldwide syndicate. It's a worldwide web that when it comes out, it's going to go global. And so they can't release it just yet. And that was actually, if you can go listen to the prophecy of Carolyn, she just came out today. But it literally said if that came out, it's going to take down governments.
Yeah,
that's how deep.
That's what I heard too. And and the people that'll be lawyering up, and the people that maybe went there for a dinner or were on his plane to do this or that, and not necessarily any evil things, they'll be in jeopardy. I mean, it's hard to pull,
so they're so the prophecy, so what God was saying through it's a matter of timing. They got to time it right, especially with other nations as well too, because it's going to be devastating when this stuff all comes out. But that actually ties in with a fall prophecy, because the prophecy goes fall of kings, we'll play that video in a few minutes, but it says in the fall they shall fall, but then he continues fall of kings and fall of princes. Okay, which means that that event of the global, probably the Epstein stuff, probably won't be until the fall time, because that'll be probably the appropriate time for the release of it.
Trump's just sweeping it under the rug right now.
Well, because I think that's so deep that I think God's got to get involved in on this thing. So this could tie in with, the great and terrible day of the Lord. And maybe that's when all of it comes out as well, too. So we'll see how this plays out. But the prophecy it's coming out. OK, so those of you who are, upset about nothing happening so far, it's all about timing. Please, this is the prophecy. It's all about timing, and the timing's not yet. This is the wrong time for that information to come out just yet. And remember, in the fall of kings, fall of princes, in the fall they fall. We're not in fall time. We're only in summer right now, okay? So just be patient, because when God's in the details, everything ends up being perfect. Please remember, when God's in the details, all this is going to be revealed in the perfect timing. So everybody gets wiped out who's supposed to get wiped out, eliminated, taken care of, exposed. All the pieces that are going to come apart beautifully when God's in the details. But I want to go back to July and summer itself, because last time we did a podcast, Nina and I talked about, from the Hamas attacking Israel, and that was 50 years from the attack of 74. Nino and I did a podcast, and we said, on the podcast, this was in the 1st or 2nd of October, or the last couple of days of September. I said, don't be surprised around the 6th or 7th of October, this was in the year 2022, that there's a probability there could be some kind of a military conflict or a war specifically attaching to Israel. And on the 7th, it specifically happened. And then Nito brought up a very interesting point in our 2 podcasts ago. And he talked about 666 days. I'm like, what's that? So then I went back to the math on it. And actually 666 days takes us to this August 3rd. So then the plot thickens, right? So now we've got 50 years to the exact day the Hamas attacks Israel. Okay, so from the Yom Kippur War to the Tabernacle War, 74 war to the 2022, whenever, or the 73 war to the 2022, whatever, it was 50 years. This is the 50 years started to the exact day. Okay, whatever it was 50 years to the exact day. Then from 50 years, 666 days takes us to this August 3rd. But now this is interesting, because there's a date, which is specifically tomorrow. So if you want to pop up this one Twitter slide, it's the one on Twitter, this one on X, put that slide up, because actually this came to me. Actually, this was a gentleman by the name, I'm not sure his last name, but Matthew. This guy actually sent me this, and I did start doing some deep research on this, and it's rather fascinating, because tomorrow is a date, 17 Tammuz, Tammuz. Well, why is that important? Well, first off, 17 Tammuz, think about, this is where you got going, wait a second, how is this possible? Okay. So when you start studying what 17 Tammuz is specifically, so we talked about, and why 9th of Av, which is 600, I missed the story. So 9th of Av is 666 days to this August 3rd, okay? And why is the 9th of Av important? This is a Hebrew date, because that's the date that both temples fell.
Damn.
So both temples were destroyed on that date. Go ahead, Nino, sorry.
I said we could be looking at something maybe hitting the Dome of the Rock, you think? I mean, that's what logically I think.
Well, again, I see this is now, so we don't know, but so the 9th of Av is a possibility. We could see something hit the Dome of the Rock, or remember, this involves Jerusalem. Well, in the middle of Jerusalem is USA. And so does USA, are we involved in this conflict now? There's a chance we could be involved in a conflict now because of what's going on, okay? So I don't know, but then if you count backwards 21 days takes us to tomorrow. Well, why is tomorrow important? Because what I have right here, it's 17 Tammuz. Now, this is crazy, because tomorrow is specifically, so we know that on 9th of Av, both temples fell. But before both temples fell, this is crazy, on 17 Tammuz, which is tomorrow, the walls were breached. The same day, on the same day in history,
so
the walls were breached of
Israel?
Jerusalem.
Could their walls get breached again?
How about the walls of America? How about our borders? Could that tie into our border, or could that involve maybe an attack of something in America? See, so I don't know, but I know that history of the Old Testament was Israel. The New Testament is now overlaying on things happening in America. So don't be surprised that we could see something in America tomorrow, because this ties in with silver exploding possibly next week, because if there might be some military conflict or something going off next week. I don't know, but the date I find interesting. Now, this is the cherry on top, okay? So as interesting as 17 Tammuz is, on the day that the walls got breached, and then 21 days later, the temple is destroyed. So both temples, okay, are destroyed. Now, this is the cherry on top. How is this possible? Please, everybody, please ask yourself, how is this possible? That the Declaration of Independence was signed on 17 Tammuz, the 4th of July.
Wow. Interesting.
Now, why? So again, because the Hebrew dates and the U.S. dates always change, but in 1776, when they signed the Declaration of Independence, and what was the point of the Declaration? To separate themselves. In other words, put a wall between them and London, England. So the Declaration of Independence separated America from England. It was a separation. So tomorrow is 17 Tammuz. So in other words, right there, both the if I can read here, I get a little small. Let me pull that. Read a little better. Let me read this here. It is. So therefore, both breaches of Jerusalem's wall and the adoption of the Declaration of Independence fell on the same day, 17 Tammuz, which is July 13th, which would be tomorrow. So what a coincidence that the United States separates itself on 17 Tammuz, the same day. This is craziness. The same exact day that Israel, that both temples' walls are breached. You can't make this stuff. And then tomorrow also is the same day that Trump is shot in the ear, one year to the exact day.
Wow. Okay, but do you think that now that we're talking about it, nothing will happen?
Well, I don't know about Trump.
It kind of feels like it goes into the quantum matrix and just.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. But the silver chart is actually indicating that we're supposed to see a massive price explosion like imminently next week. Something's supposed to blow here. Something's supposed to go. So all I know is something's supposed to.
I've heard Monday on is going to be pretty volatile. It could be pretty crazy. One story breaking after another. But you're saying tomorrow. Wow.
No, I don't know tomorrow. I'm saying tomorrow is 17 Tammuz. I'm saying what a coincidence that the cherry on top, the Declaration of Independence was signed tomorw. Like is exactly to the exact day. It's the same day that both temple walls were breached, and then 21 days later, both temples were destroyed. So tomorrow is a marker, biblical marker in terms of time. I don't know what that means, and all I know is that the prophecy of the two E's. We were supposed to see exposures of these people getting exposed. Things like the summer's supposed to hot summer, but it's supposed to heat up for them where they're getting exposed and they're beginning to freak out. Okay. So something's about to be triggered. I wonder if
someone else is going to unleash the list, man. That's what I wonder. If someone else is going to drop it. I mean, you think that could be a possibility?
I don't know how it's going to play out. All I know is I'm watching with you, Nino. All I'm saying is I just know I would expect silver to explode next week in price. I don't know what that's going to mean, but I believe it might be tied in with some kind of a military conflict or something going off. We're going to have to watch together. But tomorrow is just a very, very important date into next week. Leave it at that. Like tomorrow, say Monday, Tuesday, next week, a lot of things could start to be triggering here imminently because we're now past the 11th of July. So we're in the start of the new era. In other words, something new is now developing, and if the new is developing, the old's got to start to collapse. Okay, and remember the prophecy, the tour we went. It was a dismantling tour. What does that mean? It means the pieces of Babylon begin to be pulled out, like a deck of cards. You're dismantling. You're starting to pull things out, and next thing then it collapses. Right. So we should start seeing pieces getting pulled out right now, and these are so things are getting exposed, and next thing you know, we start seeing the collapse, which triggers in for the September time.
Trump has put out some massive comms lately. Melania dressed in military gear. He put Melania in front of him to show the checkmate. I mean, it's time. I think it's go time. So, Bo, with that being said,
and then with that being said, play the video of September. Video? Yeah, this is a 2-minute video of September because this ties in with September because remember, all of this is a workup into September, okay? So everything's happening right now. It's still a workup into September.
A day to remember is coming. It is rapidly approaching as the summer is ending. As the summer is ending. This day will change everything and your life will never be the same. It will be a marker in history, and everything in your life will be different before and after this day. This is the day you have been praying, hoping, and believing for. Fear not, as there will be much confusion and much will happen in one day. I am the great I am, and there is nothing that I can't do.
But this is for you, says the Lord. The tide is turning for you. A very strange thing shall happen in September. Moving into the fall where there shall be a great fall. Fall of the enemies, fall of kings, fall of princes. Watch and see, for God says beginning in September, I will turn everything around, and my people shall see an intervention of a kind that they have never seen before.
This day will change everything, and your life will never be the same.
All right.
So an intervention of a kind we have never seen before, a 9/11 worldwide on steroids. Okay, so this is all a workup. We haven't seen a triggering event just yet.
Banks. I bet you when Powell steps down, something happens simultaneously with him stepping down. I bet you. I don't know.
So just all I know is that the time is now hit. We're here. The time is hit. So just everybody pay attention. Like Anito's saying, that this is a very important week that we're stepping into here. And you know, what a coincidence. Tomorrow is 17 Tammuz, which is a very important biblical date. You know, and this is the date the declaration was signed. This is the date that the walls of Jerusalem were both breached. And then 21 days later, the temples were destroyed. Like the markers here are crazy. And so we're all watching together. And then regardless of even what happens in August, that still sets the stage for what we just watched about September. Okay. So this goes all the way. It's going to be wild roller coaster. And then ultimately, you know, this is going to end up being the craziest year we've ever seen, because we're in the year of Jubilee. And a Jubilee by definition is a year of the Lord's favor. It means that God's intervening on the world now. And so everything that these people have tried to do, it starts to blow up in their face. And then, you know, all of it, the truths come out. And then there's going to be one day, because the day of vengeance is what we're waiting for. And I believe that'll be, you know, just a prophecy. The prophecy indicates it's probably going to be in September. So, you know, so regardless of what, you know, the news is out there, everybody, just know, fear not, God's got this, but it's going to be the craziest year we've ever seen in our lifetime.
I'm ready. Let's do some questions. I don't know how many super chats came in, but I see one here. Thomas Dougherty, Bo, when do the healings start?
Well, I would say it would be the next 4th of July, because God's going to be in the mix for the entire year. And then the 𝗀𝗂𝗋𝗶 prophecy specifically starts, you know, I stand in the year 2027 beyond the year of beyond the veil of limitations. So the exposure is, the healing would be like after the exposure, I guess, right? So you'd have to have 1 year go by, and then next year, which marks the 250th year, which is 5 cycles of 50. 5 is grace. So 5 cycles of 50 years, 250 years, next 4th of July marks the beginning of, you know, of a fantastic America where, you know, things have really been removed because God have really, but actually, I believe even this March, we're probably going to see the tribunals and everything that we've talked about in the past.
Any other ones? Oh, there's another one. Monica, what does it look like in our accounts if the money crashes? I've heard it's, you want to answer this, Bo?
Well, you know, there's no right answer, but I would expect this. Now, when we say market crash,
okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's going to be you can say what you want to add to it, but what I gather, it's going to be the crash of the U.S. dollar first. Okay, so the dollar will probably be dethroned as the world reserve currency, and everybody's going to run into precious metals, cryptocurrencies, and then after that, we're going to see a stock market crash. I believe that'll be this fall time, and ultimately, then Trump's going to come back in. Then he'll be in to restore and create a new money system, but the US dollar is still going to be around. Okay, so I believe in 2026 onwards, we're still going to have the US dollar, but it'll be called the 𝗧𝗵𝗔 dollar. Okay, no one's going to want it around the globe, but in America, we'll probably still be using it. Just because people are accustomed to it, you know, for transactions. But globally, we're going to have a new currency, the Treasury system, backed by gold and silver. So we're going to have 2 currencies in the U.S. And then ultimately, by the end of this decade, I believe the U.S. dollar goes to 0.
All right. So she's asking what's our accounts going to look like if the money crashes, and It's not that your accounts will change. It's just the purchasing power of the dollar. That's what's going to change.
Right,
So
but
you
if you
still
listen
have
to
$1
Nino,
million in your account, if you have $1 million, but what will it be able to buy? Right? Am
Right,
I
but
right
if-
in saying that?
yeah, but if you've listened to Nino, myself, if you know, like if you follow, you know, Nino's got gold, you know, I bought gold, I bought silver, you know, if you have that, then your accounts will be so blessed, you'll be freaking out, okay? Because the money's going to go, your accounts, if they're backed by gold and silver, even if you have some gold and silver, those are going to go up so high in price that even if you lose whatever in your bank accounts, okay, your precious metal positions are going to be skyrocketing, and you're just going to be blessed. Okay, it's the people that specifically do not hold any gold or silver, think that, you know, Nino and people like myself, you know, for holding a rock, you know, they call it a god, you know, gold and silver, a rock, having cryptocurrencies, having gold and silver, you know, those ones that this, you know, that watch their bank accounts and their 401ks or IRAs and just study that all the time. Those are the ones that are going to be in a world of hurt. But this is important because God does, this is the flipping of the scales. God is going to take away their idol. See, that's their idol. They have their bank accounts, and that's all they worship those bank accounts. And unfortunately, that's they put their bank accounts above God. That's what you know, that's the thing about God needs to be the top of the food chain. He needs to be above you. Christ needs to be on top of, you know, you need to be under Christ. But the moment you put yourself above Christ, you know, that's when you say there is no God, you're putting yourself above Christ. Okay. Right. If you say that, you know, if you worship your money, you're putting your money above Christ. So there's your idol. So the goal is God's going to remove the idols, and that involves bank accounts. And if people don't have gold and silver or cryptocurrencies, unfortunately, they're going to lose. Many are going to love their idols.
All right, next question. Terry Martin, super sticker. Thank you so much. Strange days. Thanks, Nino and Bo. Much love to you back. All right, I guess that's it. We got a cheap audience today, Bo. It's all right though. Love
Saturday
all
afternoon.
of you. You know, hey, just send us prayers. That's all I ask for. Bo, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Nino. God bless you, your family, and everybody listening. God bless you.
I've done a lot of shows today. I'm tired.
Yeah. I was traveling for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
I literally just got to my place, turned the TV on, just the screen of a computer. So yeah, it was
get some
short,
rest, man.
yeah, very busy day, busy week for me. But God bless everybody, and just pay attention. Everything, all the summer prophecies, the timelines. I'll finish on this. The timelines have hit. Okay, so we're here. We haven't seen the physical appearance of something that's obvious. Something's drastically changed. Okay, but on Friday we did see silver just go $1.50 and took out $38. So our marker is there. Now we're just waiting for an explosion, and that'll mark a shifting, and something is going to be, if silver's exploding, something's going on to cause that. Like Nino's saying, is it Powell? What is it? But what are the events? We're all watching together. But the time windows are indicating something's about to go. Prophecies are saying prophecies about summer. We're in summer, okay? We're halfway, literally this 16th, we are halfway through summer, okay? So just fasten your seatbelts, because I believe it's about to just get wild. And tomorrow, being 17 Tammuz, we could see triggering events either tomorrow, is it Monday or Tuesday? We're all watching together. So God bless you, you know.
Thank you both so much. All right, folks, signing out. Alex.
Hey, Nino.
What do you think?
Man, always a great show with Bo, and I'm just over here like looking at the math and listening, like, yeah, wow.
There's a lot going on, huh?
Yeah.
I think so. We'll be back Monday, folks. We got Judge Joe Brown coming on. I think we need to test everything out with Judge Joe Brown. Make sure that things work before we get on with them, so we don't have any technical difficulties.
Yeah, fingers crossed it'll be all good to go. So
maybe I'll hit him up and ask him if he wants to test it out first. So he's going to be talking about the Epstein list. He's going to give us some revealing information. So don't miss Judge Joe Brown Monday, and Benjamin Fulford will be up tomorrow. Wano Saban's up there on Nino'sCorner.tv right now. So I'll see you over there, folks. Peace out later. Thanks, Alex.